But we'll see, because nobody knows. Okay. If somebody sees us, just be patient, guys. We have to check something really, really important. Unfortunately, then we're gonna explain what the heck is happening. Okay, there's nothing here.
It's dark. Fox. Nix.
Yeah. The other thing is that we definitely should stream. If not on YouTube, we're definitely streaming on Facebook. Yeah, here we are. Check something. Here we are. Really, so really this at least allows us to stream, you know, here and on Twitch. We should be live on Twitch as well.
So someone should give us a signal that yes, you're streaming.
Yeah, we are streaming. So if nothing else, we're gonna have it here, and if I go to Twitch, we should have it there as well. So we better, I'm gonna put the comments on so we can see all the comments in one place. Yep, we are streaming on Twitch as well, and it says X-Men Origins Wolverine.
We can review and this one too. If you want, you know.
I can, you know, change the title. It's not a problem. But you know, we are doing this on the fly, and the comments are here. Here are the comments of everything, and YouTube is not connected, so there's that. But at least we're gonna have a recording of this here, and somebody's actually gonna watch us. And yeah. Oh, it also says that I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Really?
Yeah. That's because I didn't change some. I just want to try if we are streaming even. So now that I see that we are streaming, but we're not, definitely we're not streaming here.
Curses.
Curses, yeah. YouTube has made a huge mistake, and now I have to write them.
Again.
Yeah. I streamed yesterday, for goodness sake.
Yes, but it's not today, you know.
Yeah, is that too late to screw everything?
Yeah, of course. See, we have Bulgarian one on that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bulgarian phrase for that.
Okay, so before we start with our intro and introductions and all of that, I'm just gonna copy some stuff so we can have the right title. At least. Should be saved here, yeah. And as always, I'm just gonna fix it later.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Is it third time or fourth now?
Maybe it's the fourth time. Okay, here. This is. I'm getting totally unrelated notifications, unfortunately.
Is it one of Fox?
It's not, but yeah. Well, we have to give them credit, at least. They decided to, you know, release Avengers. Is there Avengers in Twitch? Avengers Bimbo!
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's the bloodiest game ever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it like initiative. This is the closest thing, although it's not. But what to do? Twitch is Twitch. Okay, now we have everything. I can. That is on my personal channel. Yeah, I have to share that. Okay. On my page, and we can actually share that on Superheroes Bulgaria if you like.
No, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good idea. Could not what? Wait, what? Okay, I'm just gonna share the Twitch stream then.
Today we can't do many things.
Yeah, I mean, we encountered obstacles, unfortunately. I'm just gonna put the thumbnail so people can see our awesome facial expressions. Oh, I was here. How did I name this? The Dark Phoenix. It always looks to me like phonics.
Because some people are phony.
Yeah.
And some people are phoning it in.
Oh no. Okay, this is going to be like 5-minute preparation for this. It's life. It's life. What to do? That is always when I want to do something great.
You mean that it's live or that we are live?
We are live, but
And everything is live after.
yeah, everything is. It's arguable what is what. I only have these 3 pages because I'm an admin of those, but I'm not sure how that's gonna go. Oh, of course. I'm just gonna go to Superheroes Bulgaria and just paste the link. Super. Is it in Bulgarian? I forgot.
Yes.
Damn it.
I think that you'll find it.
Are you sure?
No.
I'm still typing it in English, okay?
Now we're talking. Here we go.
Yes. Okay, now everybody that are watching the should load?
X-Men Origins. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone is watching it now.
Yeah. Now it's Avengers Initiative, but okay. So everybody that are watching this. Okay. And I just can't wait to write YouTube a great angry message later
Dear
on.
YouTube.
Yeah, dear YouTube.
Let me start with dear and then...
Yeah, you are assholes. Thank you for blocking me for no reason to stream. You're helping my channel very much so.
I'm sure it's because of the orange t-shirt.
Of what?
Of my orange t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's because of that.
It's because of the t-shirt, yeah.
You can't show orange, it's too bright. People might get happy.
Yeah.
Say, oh look, it's so bright. Let's feel happy. No.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just orange is the new black, you know. So actually, I can't post it here. It's not working. Like it's not.
Don't worry about it.
Like why? I'm just going to send it to Peter, and he can send it if he's available. No need of the title. You can say like a tomato. It's
Yeah. He says that he's here.
yeah.
He's in America now. Tell him to go to Fox and tell them.
Yeah.
How are you doing now?
Yeah.
He has a Deadpool sock. So
well.
you should listen to him.
Yeah, they should listen.
I mean,
to him.
it's a Deadpool sock.
Absolutely.
One.
Yeah,
Deadpool
it's
sock.
just one, but
Just
yeah,
one.
it's important.
It's
Although
enough.
it's only
It's breaking
one.
the third wall.
Yeah, it's breaking. All the walls are broke.
All the walls.
Are broken. Already we have somebody that's watching us already.
Yay.
Yeah, on Facebook.
You
Well.
should listen to him.
Yeah, they should
I
listen
mean,
to him.
it's a Deadpool sock.
Oh, absolutely.
Anichu,
One.
hello Anichu.
Yeah, it's just gonna stop the sound so everybody are not hearing us simultaneously. How to make this smaller? God damn it. Okay.
Just minimize it.
Yeah. We don't see the comments yet, so I guess they're not working for Facebook, so I'm just gonna use the original sources for the comments. Okay, so guys, hi again for time. We are trying to start the stream. Hi and welcome to GG Reviews as usual, and to Superheroes Bulgaria, so to speak, because with me is Kirill from Superheroes Bulgaria, with whom we did the X-Men Dark Phoenix. I always want to say Origins.
No.
No.
All Apocalypse.
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
yeah, everything but the Phoenix. So we did the Bulgarian review of X-Men The Dark Phoenix, and now we want to do a live show of reviewing the movie in English. And that's all well and good, but it turns out that YouTube blocked me from streaming for no apparent reason. So now I have to go and write an angry letter to YouTube.
What do you mean no apparent reason? It's the orange t-shirt, the orange t-shirt.
Yes, it is the orange t-shirt. Kirill is to blame for this disaster. So,
yes,
yeah.
I wanted to make people happy with some bright colors, but
Yeah, it's
we
not
can't have
allowed.
that. No.
It's not allowed, please.
Well,
So yeah, hi to all the people that are watching us on Facebook and on Twitch. We are very happy that you're here with us, join us for this review. But again, YouTube! I'm not on YouTube at the moment. Okay, so guys, then after we finish with our X-Men The Dark Phoenix review, we are going to continue with the brand new trailer for the new Avengers game that's third person, and you're actually gonna be able to play with all the Avengers somehow from Square Enix. That was premiered last night, and I missed it because I had to cover Ubisoft conference and then I had to go to bed. So
whoa. Why do you sleep?
well,
Why do you even sleep?
I have to sleep.
You have to.
Yeah.
And that's why you're claimed. YouTube knows that you're sleeping.
Yeah, they want to, they want to punish me for sleeping.
You're not Batman, he doesn't sleep. Except the moments when he has 15 seconds micro sleep. But,
Yeah, well, if you think about it, I'm kind of a bit close to Batman.
16 seconds. 16 seconds.
Yeah, a bit
Close,
close to Batman
close.
in some aspects. Oh, awesome. Okay, so guys, without further ado, because we're already super late with this, X-Men Dark Phoenix in English. So I really loved this review. I really loved
That's true. You see, you already loved it. We haven't
Yeah.
even started yet.
it.
That's commitment. That's commitment.
I just can't. I'm gonna cry. So I love this current review.
That's true. See, that's why I admire you. You already committed to the thing. See?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, I'm not laughing. I'm not drawing tears. I'm not. Okay.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm
Oh
just
my
gonna put our screen so I can see what the heck I'm doing because it's...
You're crying now.
Yeah, I'm crying apparently. So I love our review.
They will claim us because of Xena here. It's Xena.
Oh no, it's Xena.
Lucy Lawless if you're watching.
Yeah.
I always
Please claim this.
love your work. Love your work. But how old is she now?
50?
So I can still fit somehow. Good, nice.
You can still what? What?
Nothing.
That sounded
Yeah.
dirty for some reason to me, although I didn't hear it.
Don't know why, yeah.
Okay. Kind of felt like a vibe.
Yay.
Okay, so seriously now, we're not talking about Xena, although she's awesome. Just
But we should.
But-
But we should.
but we should talk
We
about.
should. Though.
Oh god,
Sometimes.
people are gonna think that I'm drunk, although I'm never drunk. I'm a fitness person. Yeah, but
Oh no.
it's just too funny, so I don't need alcohol to have fun, you know.
Yeah, we just proved that.
Yeah,
You don't need alcohol to have fun.
and to cry on
To
camera.
cry. To be committed to
Yeah.
things, you know.
I'm committed and I'm crying because of it. Okay, it's awesome.
So people came here to see Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, people, damn it, people. Okay,
Why did you come? Why? I mean,
yeah,
why?
to watch this
You-
and that, there,
There.
in
yes.
that direction, and then this in this
My
direction.
orange t-shirt. Yes.
Well,
Good.
you have to be very glad because it's with it's going very well with the movie. So it's
You're
good.
right. Yeah. But by the way,
Yeah.
if you're in my class, this is what's happening all the time.
Really?
Yes.
So your effect on
Basically,
people.
students are laughing all the time.
Yeah, it's just very like naturally funny everything.
I don't know.
it's
They're laughing
intentional.
all the time, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I
Well,
can work with that.
Actually, you can because that is how they're gonna learn English for real
Yes.
because they're having fun, so they're gonna remember it without any effort.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe that's what I was trying all the time.
Really? You're kind of doing amazing stuff without even trying. It's just how
Yeah,
it happens. Okay. I'm very similar type of person, so everything's fine.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Now movie. After we finish with our, I'm gonna break everything, with our amazing display of natural funniness. Is that the word?
And
English
Xena
teacher?
merchandise.
And Xena merchandise, but I made it, so it doesn't count.
Well, it's,
Yeah, it's fan made.
you know. By the way, DC, look DC.
Yeah,
Can people
DC.
see DC? Look, yes.
Yeah.
Warner. So
DC,
people,
you
yes.
don't have such mug, DC, you know? You don't, because you don't have the imagination to create something like that, like this, you know? You're just gonna put Superman on it and that's gonna be it. But I put everything on it, because I can. Okay, so, continuing with the movie that we are gathered here today to review this movie, you know, after all. So, the movie, guys, it's amazing. It's great. I love it. 8 out of 10. Something else?
8.5.
8.5.
It was
8.5 out of 10. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I gave it 8.5.
Yeah, I actually
Give
gave
it
it like an
8.5.
8 because,
Was it?
you know, sometimes I like to give movies and a half, but then because I used to do everything recorded, I had to put like a half, you know, and in the screen, and it wasn't like fitting very well. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna give it like a full number. Not...
Have you ever given 10
Yeah.
to what? The Godfather?
No, I haven't seen The Godfather.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I'm ashamed.
Don't worry. Just watch the first one. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. So, okay, so wiping my tears here. So yeah, 10. I don't remember which movie I gave it 10. Maybe Avatar?
Okay, yeah.
I haven't done any reviews at that time actually when Avatar was out. I still didn't start. I mean, at that
Go
point.
back in time now.
Yeah, I can review Avatar now. Okay, guys. So anyway, the Dark Phoenix is actually not the big crap that everybody are making out to be.
Yeah, it's actually not. I don't know what's the problem with most people. I think that most of them expected, you know, this really, really faithful comic book adaptation or something like that, or
Yeah.
it's because it was too close to Avengers Endgame. I mean, just a month after that, or is it a month or two?
Oh, it's at least a 2, I think.
2, yes.
Yeah.
So I think that most people kind of expected that. I mean, if you take the comic book, by the way, for everyone who has ever read the comic book, good for you, but don't expect the same thing. You should never do that. I did things like that for most of the time as a comic book fan when they started with the movies, and always felt some, you know, emptiness. Let's say, why it's not like in the comic book, because it can't be and it should not be. First
Yeah.
of all, it's its own thing. It's a different medium to have, you know, comic books and movies. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
You should just stick to the characters. Let them be as personalities, the people that you know from the comic book. But then it's kind of hard with Dark Phoenix because in the comic books it's just this big, let's say, space opera. Like,
Oh.
imagine Guardians of the Galaxy, but better.
Guardians of the Galaxy, but better.
But better, yes. I mean, in comic books.
Jesus.
And it's really long story, and you have all of the X-Men going in space, and you have different type of aliens there, and they tell you how much of a threat actually the Phoenix Force is, how many worlds it destroyed and it will destroy.
Interesting.
Things like that. So it's really big story, and by the way, it's the only story that doesn't have boring Jean Grey inside.
Boring.
Yes, because she started as a character, she started kind of like, she was called Marvel Girl, by the way, at the beginning.
Marvel Girl.
Yes, when X-Men started and they were a team of teenagers, she was there with the original X-Men when they were teenagers, but she was called Marvel Girl, and she kind of had the law of, someone save me. Scott, save me.
Really?
Professor X also kind of loved her, which was interesting because she was 15, 16 or something. He was 50 already by that time, but okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, it's weird. I mean,
So she was a
60s,
kid,
60s.
and how many people liked her?
Well, Angel, Cyclops, and Professor X, but secretly, because it's kind of illegal. However, this is not in the movie. Thank God for that.
Comic books are weird sometimes.
Comic books are weird. That's why we love them, by the way, because it's weird because it's a comic book, so you kind of have this suspension of disbelief. So anyway, if you expect to see that big story, first of all, they cannot do it now. I mean, they didn't set up all those things in the X-Men universe. Still, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I really felt happy when I watched it. I didn't have big expectations, maybe because of X-Men Apocalypse, where I was kind of...
Yeah, I had like none.
Yeah. So it's really not the worst X-Men movie that most people say that this is the worst, and I think it has the lowest track ever now or something like that.
Oh, sorry, Bulgarian came out.
Yeah, it means yes.
Yeah.
I kind of think that it's actually, if I have to put some of the X-Men movies, can I put Logan here? Because to me it was always kind of different, separated universe. Logan.
Yeah, it's like some people that are Oscar directors and writers, gathered and made Logan out of the blue. They're like one day sitting at the empty room with their cigars, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so bored. Like, what to do?" Somebody said, like, "Oh, what about this movie about this hairy guy that's running around and has claws?"
Just let's make him old this time, and he dies in the end.
Yeah, he was
Spoilers.
like, "Oh, sure."
Of course. Fox have a neck to do that, by the way.
Yeah, so that is basically what happened.
So actually, let's say that if we don't count Logan, X-Men Days of the Future Past to me is one of the best X-Men movies. Kind of. Then X2. And then it's everything else, kind of. There, I mean, I would put Phoenix maybe here on 4th place, yes. First Class, like, kind of also, like, don't know why. Not sure. Maybe because Ruben says go. Yeah, can we drop F-bombs here? I don't know. Like, yeah.
No, we can't.
No, we can't. By the way, there is an F-bomb in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, don't you remember? There was one.
Who said it? Magneto?
Either Magneto or Scott or Nightcrawler, I don't know. Someone said it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I must have been very captivated.
It was one. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the movie has that effect. Now let's go back to the review. Because the movie has that effect. I felt really, say, immersed in the movie.
Yeah, immersed. Immersed is the word. But I really started thinking about, ranking the movies and which is better. But I enjoyed this very much so, maybe because of how Sophie Turner, played the Phoenix and the special effects and how they represent her power. It's just so awesome that it really captivated me, not because because she's a woman or something like that exactly, but just how it's done. It's very cool, how she can see everything, and Quicksilver running towards her and she's like seeing everything. It's just like,
which reminded me of a scene in Justice League.
Which one?
When Flash was running and Superman saw him and he said,
yeah, it's not.
That was a good thing. I mean, I like that scene. So I said, this is like that scene.
I just love that scene.
Nice,
I mean, that's
right?
one of my favorite scenes ever, actually, in a superhero movie. Exactly that. But this was similar, but not exactly, because they didn't emphasize so much how she was seeing him, because she just removed him so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, they just lingered on her image and how she was looking at, Quicksilver. But it was all happening in like one moment. I mean, she was not changing her gaze. It was like all the same, and he was just going and seeing how he's removed from from where he was going. He's like, oh, But then Justice League, Superman was like, oh, where are you
Yes.
going? He was taking his time to turn his head to look the Flash very intimidating, and the Flash was like, oh, hell no!
If Will Smith was playing the Flash, it was going to be, oh, hell no!
Yeah. It's going to
Which
be
this,
something like
this,
that.
by the way, Warner, yes, Will Smith should play the Flash next time. So, I would watch that.
Yeah, just make
would.
everybody different races.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you really immerse yourself in that movie. As I didn't have the feeling of what's the time?
Yeah.
Should we go?
Should we
Going
go
to
now?
over or things like that. Although it's we said it in the Bulgarian review, but really there are not so many jokes in that movie.
Yeah, there's like two jokes
Probably.
in the whole movie.
Two?
Yeah,
Is it?
I think so.
Two.
Two or one. I'm pretty sure it's two, but
Mm.
I can't remember exactly.
But they felt really actually good. They fit in their place really nice.
Yeah.
It was not something that you make you to laugh like an idiot in the whole room, but just to feel some funny. And by the way, that movie has that feeling of a comic book movie.
Yeah.
They had, the president had a gigantic phone with X on it,
Yeah.
right?
Like in
Yeah.
the animation,
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. Like I think it's so.
Yeah.
Maybe in comic books they had it, but it was a phone with the X on it.
Yeah, literally it was.
Yeah, and and Charles was in some moments with his typical in kind of 60s, 70s clothes, like this dark green sweater with a turtleneck sweater and
Yeah.
reddish pants, which I said, who is wearing that anymore? But then I remember, wait, this should be in the 90s or something like that.
Yeah, it is in the 90s, but the funny thing is that
It doesn't feel like the 90s.
yeah, it kind of feels like now,
Yeah.
to be
yeah,
honest. And not only that, but you know how the original movies where they're taking place. That means that I think that somebody said that Magneto should be 60 years old in that movie. I mean, the Dark Phoenix.
Technically, he's just Michael Fassbender looks great.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean,
the difference between Michael Fassbender and the other actor that played Magneto originally,
Ian
it's
McKellen.
yeah, it's like well, that is his father,
Kinda, yes.
almost his grandfather.
Although, to be fair, I never felt, even when I was reading the comic book, or if you go back to X-Men the animated series from the 90s, I never felt as if Magneto should be 60 or something. I mean, he had white hair, but then he was this gigantic muscle-bounded dude, and I said, nice, when I'm 60, I want to look like that.
Oh,
Minus the magnetic powers, but still. So I never felt as if he's supposed to be 60. I knew that he's supposed to be old, Shadows too, but never felt like him.
well, they
Like
were.
that way.
I mean, they are presented old. In the original movies, they look
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
They both look very old. But now they're supposed to, be turning from what they are now to, like
Well,
in a few years, like 5 years. Whoop!
You know what folks think about continuity. So
Oh, yeah.
they have it in their offices in a gigantic stone. It says there continuity, schmontinuity, or things like that. Or,
They have a
the
storyboard.
hell with continuity, we don't care.
Yeah, storyboard. Here is that previous movie that I'm always
Yeah,
talking about.
that movie, yes, there. Apocalypse, yes.
Apocalypse. And here is the Dark Phoenix first appearance with Sophie Turner playing her. And then here is the next
she had
movie.
appearance with the powers there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about
She
it. Yeah,
did. That's
she
why I'm
did,
talking
yes.
about the continuity,
Yeah.
because it's funny. Like, here is that thing, she is the Dark Phoenix all of a sudden. Unexplained how she manifested these powers. I mean, they kind of tried to say that she already had them. They were in her, but now they manifested because of the critical situations that everybody are under, and all of that. And now we have this movie where, for the first time ever, she gets those powers. She's turning into this cosmic being, basically, and then she flies off into the blue sky, and that is it. So, what movie happened? When? How? Why?
So,
What?
I always felt if folks don't care, why should I? And I just watch and enjoy the movie. That's something that I liked in that X-Men universe, by the way, because they didn't care so much. They just wanted to make movies. Every movie was kind of in some continuity, but they didn't. You know, this we just make a movie now. It's an X-Men movie.
No, it's an X-Men movie with same actors, but
you know, yeah,
different
it's
story.
not a piece of a puzzle or something or a gigantic TV show.
Yeah.
Just was different universe.
That's what. That's why I'm pointing out to that movie with Wolverine. Something of the past. What was it?
Days of the Future Past.
Yeah.
Which is a very comic book title, by the way. It's the name of the comic book also.
Yeah. Let's just say that everything turned to biscuits there. I was going to say SH something, but I'm not because I'm not swearing. So
Plus, you're not good in spelling, apparently.
SH.
You know, I'm an English teacher, so.
SHIT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation. Okay, I just finished it. That doesn't mean I don't know how to spell it. Okay.
My students say that too.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's going to take so much time to explain what I didn't want to say.
Yeah.
Okay, just let's see the comments because there are like a few now. Okay, so if you had to choose one superpower, which it will be to both of you? Hi to Minavazatoka.
Awesome, but awesome. You know, I cannot say that.
Minavazatoka. Minavazatoka.
Awesome. That's the superpower. That's to be able to choose names like that. Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, seriously. Well,
gonna make me cry with that nickname. Minavazatoka. I'm gonna make another channel with the name.
You should. Definitely you should.
Minavam's I don't know. There's so many options.
Yeah. If some of your English viewers can pronounce that name, I will buy him
what, popsicle?
something, but you know, if they can, I mean.
It's gotta be something cheap, so don't be so, enthusiastic about it.
Well, you know, Stan Lee used to give a no prizes in his comic books.
How so?
Well, in the end of the comic books, there was a stand soul box or something in which they had the letters of readers, and Stan Lee was answering to them. This was back in the days when Stan Lee wasn't popular in movies, but he was popular for comic book.
So he basically answered those with actual writing on the paper.
Yes.
Oh, what a chore!
Wow! and to some of the best questions or something like that, I think. Yeah, he gives to the reader a no prize, which means that you win, but it's a no prize. So he said, then we're going to send you your no prize by the post. So you basically win because Stan Lee tells you you win a no prize. I mean, Stan Lee tells you win a no.
He's talking to you.
Which was good enough, yes.
Yeah, that's enough.
Physically, you don't.
Yeah, you don't get anything. Okay.
So superpowers from Minavazatoka.
Yeah. So let's after long 10 minutes, let's answer the question of Minavazatoka.
Me first.
Yeah.
Well, one superpower. Yes, superpower. Okay. Well, definitely that would be healing factor.
Healing factor. Okay.
Because as I said, Wolverine is my favorite character. Because kind of like him when he was a child, you know, he was always sick. Some things. When I was a child, it was like that. I had different, allergies from hay fevers and things like that. And I didn't go so much out. And every time that I got ill, I was actually sad. I wasn't from the kids who said, "Oh, I'm ill. I get to not to go to school." Perfect, because you feel shitty.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out and do things, as I said. So probably that. Now it's better. I mean, now after you start training and do other things and live healthy.
Yeah, live healthy, and we're drinking this awesome green cola. Not advertising, but just saying it's great. It's with stevia.
So it's healthy.
And natural caffeine.
Exactly. So, and it's a power that actually you can always move forward. Like things in your life, if something hurts you, you can always move forward. And you just don't stop.
Yeah, well, I agree with your power, but we can only choose one, so...
Well, healing factor, the best. And plus, you live longer.
Yeah.
You look younger most of the time.
Now
Right?
you're gonna make me choose that as well. Well, I would say like invulnerability, but that's kind of I mean, never had to heal, just don't get sick at all in the
Yeah.
first place. And I mean, and kind of includes Superman's powers to not age as fast, maybe. Maybe. I mean, it kind of makes
I
sense.
think it's because he's Kryptonian. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be Kryptonian then. This
Okay, good.
this
So you're from
invulnerability.
Krypton now.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I have the blue eyes.
Everyone on Krypton has blue eyes.
But I think, yeah,
I think in general everyone in comic books has blue eyes.
you're right. That's because Greek gods, I think, all had blue eyes or something like that. And that's why I'm very angry that Gal Gadot does not have blue eyes. Damn it!
How dare she?
How dare
How
she?
dare she?
Like, put some, context. Like, what the
Look,
heck?
they started to talk to each other, so maybe we should move on.
Yeah, we should definitely move along with this. And hi, Ivy. Hi to you. I'm sorry that you're watching this here. I mean, if you can watch this here, it's fine. But YouTube blocked me from streaming for no reason. They say that I don't have like 1,000 subscribers, which I do, a lot more than that, and that I have broke some laws, which I didn't because Fox also released my video and I don't have a claim on my channel. So I don't know what's going on, but I have to talk to YouTube. So that's why I can't stream on YouTube. Okay, so yeah, they're talking to each other.
She wrote the same thing.
Yeah, my superpower will be to read a book by just a touch. Well, that's also great. I mean, there's so many options here, but I also would say, like, if I could choose more, I would choose flight, and yeah, basically be like Superman all the time.
So you can just say being Superman. That's
Yeah, being
superpower
super.
enough.
Yeah, I could freeze stuff and make stuff melt as well. Not that I actually need that, but well, who knows? Actually, I could.
So you want to be Superman, not the Supergirl.
I'm gonna be Supergirl though. Not gonna turn into a man version of me all of a sudden.
But the cool Supergirl, not the one from the TV show.
Oof.
We just lost 50 people watching us, but
Well,
probably.
Melissa Benoist is so awesome. It's just her
She's-
characters.
By the way, she's great, yeah. Just
Yeah, she's perfect for Supergirl. She takes the role so much to heart, and she plays it perfectly. It's just the material is just complete crap, and it's for kids, and it's lame. And where was I?
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Oh, X-Men Dark Phoenix, guys. So we're talking about this great movie with
We
the
are
great
trying to.
Sophie Turner that I did say that was doing an amazing job in the film, and I do think that she is very good. Jean Grey, because I did see that if you saw the Bulgarian review, I did show a scene from the previous movie X-Men Last Stand where we basically see the same scene that we saw at the end of this movie. It's very similar, but still her powers and how the previous actress that I always forgot her name.
Famke Janssen.
Yeah, she, how to say, she was a lot more wooden because that is how superheroes were kind of portrayed back then. I mean,
Yeah.
also how they portray women in general. I mean, I'm not saying that women are not very good to represent or anything like that. I'm saying that how they directed the actresses to act in particular situations, it seemed very, how to say, like they had to keep everything inside, like don't actually show all the emotion, just be more like a statue that doesn't feel anything. It's very like I said, wooden. It's basically, yeah, compared to
Yeah.
what Sophie Turner did and how now they're playing everything. Now all the emotions are up front and you can see everything that she goes through, and Sophie Turner was very good to express all of those emotions and all of the shades and colors of them, and you can really feel her struggle and how she feels such a such a fight within her to overcome what is happening, but in the same time she kind of doesn't want to overcome it because all the things that happen to her and all the things that she discovers along the way, as we go through the story of the movie, we do see that she has a legitimate reason to be angry, so to speak, and the fact that her life is not under her own control, and the power that she is given, and that's basically adding to her own nature as well. That is also something very powerful that comes
Yeah.
out of nowhere, and all of a sudden she has all of these memories and knowledge of what happened to her. So everything is in within her at once, and she starts to do unintentionally bad things because she's just overwhelmed from the power, from the memories that comes with
Yeah.
that power. And Sophie Turner basically represented how that was going to go if we had like a real life situation of something like this happening to a very young woman that didn't had any easy life to this point anyway. So the only thing that she needed when she already thought that she had everything behind her, so she can have this life with the X-Men and just be moving on. You
And then
know,
this happens.
and then this happens, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So I do think that we should consider and give more freaking credit to the movie and to Sophie Turner about how they portray this character, because from emotional standpoint, character driven and everything that you can think of, I think that she as the Phoenix and her transformation, how she went through that, was represented very well in a way that it wasn't annoying, it wasn't boring, just the opposite. It was very natural and very,
Emotional.
yeah, and
So,
adequate to what would have happened, and this was actually in real world, and that may be because I like it so much, and it's kind of like Man of Steel has this style as well.
yes.
What will actually happen if Superman is here on Earth? How he is going to feel? How people are going to perceive him? And what could happen because he has all of those powers, he's alone and all of that. So
That was always part of the X-Men idea that you're different. People are
yeah,
afraid. They don't
actually,
accept
yeah.
you. Some of them say that they do accept you, but there is always that feeling that, but if you do something that I don't like, then things can change
Yeah.
really fast.
Then all of a sudden, I mean, one X-Men does something bad, like everybody then are bad.
All the mutants are, yeah,
Yeah,
all the
you are
mutants will, yeah,
forsaken now. Like
exactly.
well, if this is applied to people, then all of the people have to be forsaken because we have criminals in prison
Let's
and
imagine that we do shitty things all the time.
yeah. We
So I
freaking
mean, we
do.
are people. But what you said is very important for the character, by the way, for Phoenix as a power, and for Jean Grey, that we say to represent that fight with the emotions and all the sensations that she feels. And in comic books especially, you can see how she wants to give into that, and they did that in the movie. So that's the
Yeah.
most important thing. Not so much was this a faithful adaptation of the gigantic story, which was don't know how many issues or things like that in the 70s, but actually did you show the character in a good way. And I saw Dark Phoenix there.
Yeah.
You had moments that are kind of like in the comic books, some that are not, but you can't adapt everything. Just show the character. That's the fight of Jean and the Force.
Yeah, to capture her essence, her struggle. What is she like as a character that has great power on her own, but now she has to go through all of that and kind of assimilate, what is happening to her, and then somehow apply this in a reasonable way to the world. I mean, that's not how it's going to happen. It's not going to be very reasonable, just because of something that not. I mean, this never happened to anyone else. She's the only one that could hold this power within her that can actually survive having this. So
I always said that if something like that happens to us, I mean, to get a power like that, we'll basically do the same thing.
or just be
We're
crazy.
not going to be, if a radioactive spider bites you or things like that, you're not going first thing to think won't be, now I should save people. Of course we're going to do something stupid. I mean,
Something
we're
nuts.
people and we have that power, and we see, now what?
Yeah, now what? You're just gonna go crazy.
Probably. I would rob a bank probably, I think. I don't know. but it won't be, peachy.
No, you're first going to doubt yourself if you're even experiencing this. You'll be
Yes.
like, am I crazy? I really can do this? Really? Now what to do with it? Like who can I trust to show this particular
Should I show
power?
it? why
should I
me
show it?
and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Do I even deserve that? Also,
Yeah, your life is going to turn into a huge investigation about what the heck happened to me, and you'll be too busy with that instead of saving people and go out and being the superhero. You won't even know for how many even like hours, minutes, days you're going to have this power. That's also going to be one of the questions that you're going to be asking yourself. Yeah.
But I see here that Minawa Zatoga has a great comment, by the way.
We have big fat things to read, so let's start here. So first, from Facebook. I don't know what's happening. I'm getting new superpower right now. It's called losing my voice. Okay, so Ivy says, I hope that this can be reversed. I mean, lots of people have less than 100. Yeah, you're right. But it's not about who's watching you. It's about, I mean, I have thousands of views on some videos. It's not even about my subscriber count because I have more than they require. It's something else that happened that I'm not aware of, apparently, or just some kind of a mistake because of my Dark Phoenix Bulgarian review that first they decided to block in the whole world and then decided to release it. And from that, something there, I suppose, happened. So that's why I have this problem now. We'll see, but I am going to write on YouTube. Hopefully they fix it. Yeah, it's making no sense. Yeah, Ivy.
Then again, a lot of things don't make sense.
Yeah, especially everything with Fox and the fact that probably out of everything, your orange shirt is to be blamed about
Probably,
this.
probably.
Yeah, probably is the shirt. Okay, so let's see what the incredible Minavasa Toka says.
You should win something, really. I mean, we should give something to that person, boy or girl.
It's probably a boy.
Probably.
My guess. I just assumed his gender.
Oh my god.
Oh my
They'll
god.
claim that video too now because
Yeah,
you're not PC at all.
No, I'm assuming genders now. Okay, so he says mine is better because with all the knowledge I'll be able to manipulate people, and then the crowd that I will be able to control and touch through my speeches will obey me, and I will convince them that the knowledge is for all people and that there should be no hidden knowledge, and lead the crowd to open the Vatican library and read everything in there. Wow.
There's a lot of things in the Vatican library that you should not read by.
Yeah, probably not. The power of people is greater than the power of Superman. The things that we have achieved as human beings is incredible. So being able to control them and make them embrace your ideas is better than having the powers of Superman. Yeah, I did assume your gender, but no. But really, guys, I don't think that's not. I mean, that's not going to be a superpower. If you did this, this is going to be totally destroying free will of men. So you'll be viewed as a villain, not as a hero. That's one. I mean, you can just say to people like, "Oh, here is all the knowledge in the world, yay!" I mean, a lot of people are not even. They can't even comprehend a lot of things in the world, like day-to-day stuff, even, let alone to have access to all the knowledge in the world. First, they're not going to really be interested. Then if you're going to, put the knowledge automatically in their heads, doesn't mean that they're going to be able to assimilate it, use it for good, use it at all. Some people, if they're really stupid in general, they're just not gonna be able to, have this capacity to gain any kind of a benefit from a knowledge like this. So most people that are smart, they're they're looking for the knowledge that they are interested in on their own free will, and that's how they're getting it. The people that let's say are,
It's confidence most of the time. I mean, most of people who achieve things, actually it's because of confidence. If you if you have a lot of knowledge but you still don't know what to do with it or things like that. I mean, knowledge is power, as people say, but still it's your power to be confident and to know how to achieve that. If we talk about academical knowledge and stuff.
Well, you have to have, willpower. You have to have a desire, and you have to have a desire to learn, and then you have to have the knowledge how to achieve things, which happens through time, and again, the initial impulse in you is going to lead you to that eventually. But that is also because those people that have this initial impulse, they're smart because they're trying to do something more, not just sit around, go to their day-to-day job, have kids, grow their kids, teach them to be the same as their parents. The kids go do the
Oh
same
my
thing,
God. Oh my God.
and there's like an endless cycle.
And I see that every day with kids, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I see that in my friends as well, and how they created kids very young, and they never will get to live their 20s because, their 20s are totally occupied and their 30s are going to be occupied by their kids and raising them, so they never do anything fun. They never learn anything new almost because their life is just, kids, work, kids. Um,
He or she. Did he or she said what is it now? It's it. So
It's it.
it does have a point there about the power of people is greater than the power of Superman, because basically Superman shows you that, the whole idea of Clark Kent and Superman is that you can just be Clark Kent, who no one hear his voice, and he's kind of like that, and
Yeah, cause yeah,
he's butterfingers and all, and he's
he's
bumbling
clumsy,
most
yeah.
of the time, yeah.
But he's clumsy because he's just pretending.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But actually, if you believe in yourself and know what things you can achieve, then it's when you do this, and it's Superman inside of people.
Yeah.
But that's a different topic that
That's
we're talking
of course
about
we
today.
always
But still,
get outside
we
of the
can we
topics,
can
yeah.
get this with Dark Phoenix, because really, what do you do with that power? And that's very good shown in the movie. It's not like in Last Stand, which arguably it's an entertaining movie, because there's a good scene that Wolverine kicks a guy in the nuts. So yeah,
That's
I
always a
think
benefit.
right. So and I always feel kind of better about Rebecca Romaine with doing all that thing with the blue skin, because it took maybe 12 hours or something. And I remember how Hugh Jackman said that she barfed something blue. That's one because it really gets into your skin, and so
Poor
I always
Rebecca.
admire her for that.
Yeah.
But there the power of Dark Phoenix was not shown. It was more like a psychological things there. When here it's actually, this is like in a comic books, the way that she gets those powers and how she tries to manifest them or not manifest them, and should I be this? What am I doing now?
It's
Why
all a
this?
struggle.
And all the emotions, yes. Which,
Yeah, it's all a huge
to see
struggle.
emotions like that in a comic book movie, it's really refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sorry for, going out of topic, but, everything is connected. And actually, most of the people that think that, superheroes are lame or anything like that, they also need knowledge that there's a lot of wisdom in the comic book stories and comic book characters. And through them, we can learn a lot of life lessons that we can actually apply into real life. So everything, of course, because it's written by people that have lives, is somehow inspired by what people go through. And exactly, Superman is one of those,
One of those examples.
yeah, characters that are more like larger than life. But although, some people say, well, we can relate to him because he's not human, that's just stupid. They don't see how
More
he...
human than all of us,
Yeah,
than most of the
he's
superheroes.
exactly
Because he shows you exactly that struggle, how to stay
normal.
and still confident and to believe in yourself and to know, yes, I can do that and those things.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Batman is cool and all, but as a friend of mine say, hi Nasco, Batman is not a good example for mental health,
No,
So,
just
although, it's my second favorite. And
be obsessed with everything
Still.
and just, let that rule your life so
Yeah,
you can go into the
if-
shadows and attack people.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love you, Batman,
Of
but
course. Yes, we all do.
yeah,
Pattinson, you do great.
yeah,
Right?
he actually is
Yes,
working
of
out
course.
now, so
Oh, nice.
I approve. Gary approves this,
Should make a thumbnail that Gary approves.
Yeah, a picture of Robert Pattinson shirtless working out.
Wow. Wow.
There's already
So,
such picture.
There
Spoiler.
is?
Yeah.
Nice.
I
With a
think
Batman cowl on it? Or with
no, but he was looking like he's carrying a Bulgarian bag. Bulgarian
Oh.
bag, yes.
Great.
If you know what that is, that's
Yeah.
big.
But I'm sure your English
Heavy thing.
viewers don't know what exactly is that.
Well, it's a very famous fitness something. Wait.
Wait.
Wait, that is it looks like a pipe?
Did you kind of like a pipe?
Gaida?
Yeah, pipe.
Yeah.
A backpack.
Yeah.
I,
Kind of looks like that.
as Scottish people would say,
Yeah.
breathe like bagpipes. Do we have Scottish? Sorry if you know. Okay.
Bro, Hilda, come here. I'm kidding. Okay, so Ivy says, yes, knowledge is something that gained through learning. Just being rewarded with tools we don't understand or comprehend yet could create some problems. Yeah, exactly, could. But I mean,
We all have the tools, but it's important how exactly we're going to
yeah.
use them. I mean,
Believe me, there are a lot of simple people in the world, unfortunately. So again, if you give them a great, amazing knowledge, they will be basically disrespecting it with their way of perceiving it because they're just not going to be able to perceive it correctly. So
this
they're
is
going
where we get to with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have that power, and now it's your responsibility. How exactly you're going to use it?
Exactly.
Because-
Yes. I'm just really triggered, so to speak, of how people resemble Superman, but that's another topic. Like, oh, you can't.
We should make a video discussion about why Superman is not boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great topic.
Yes.
Next time, why Superman is not boring.
boring,
Right
yes.
here. Hopefully I'm unblocked till then.
Well.
Who knows?
So how do you think about Dark Phoenix?
Dark Phoenix. We were talking
By the way,
about
we
Dark
like the
Phoenix.
movie. Yes.
By the way,
If
yeah.
you haven't, yes.
We really like the movie.
Notice that.
It's 8 out of
Especially,
10.
as you said, in the display of powers with hand gestures and things like that. I mean, Michael Fassbender, which one? A friend of mine said, if his name was called Asbender, it was going to be strange.
Asbender.
Yes, but
That's perfect.
right?
Yeah, he definitely tried to push something
Bend
out
some things, yes.
with that face. It's like, "Eh." I mean, it was like he was trying to deadlift 500 and something pounds.
You can really see that it's not just there is a CGI object there, and you can really feel that
Yeah, so
he
physical.
thinks that he has those powers.
Yeah, and he also flexed his traps that he has, although he's very thin, but you can see how he's built. He's built like a person that actually works out. He has shoulders and traps. I mean, again, he's thin, but you can tell that he's worked out for this. He has amazing stature and
He had to
figure.
work harder than James McAvoy doing this.
Oh yeah.
But you can see his veins popping here, by the way.
Yeah. He's like, I'm working on my bicep. You just can't see it.
There is a button here that if I touch them, my powers just go off.
Yeah, now I'm working on my something.
Veins.
Yeah, his veins.
But again, we said it in the Bulgarian review, but there is a really great bromance between the two of them. Again, that's always something that they showed really good in all the X-Men movies, the connection between Charles and Eric. Is it now, are we exactly friends? Or well, yes, but we are friends, but I think differently.
Yeah, they have different ideology, but they connect on a higher level, a level that is beyond their opinions on things, So
and
that
they're
makes
ready
them
to
very
forget
interesting.
those things, by the way, when they have to really connect to each other. They're ready to just forget for a moment, okay, forget what I think and what you think. They just play
Just
chess
have
or
fun.
just have fun, as we say.
Yeah, that's great. That's basically like politics.
Exactly.
If two politics could sit together and just do something that's not related to
The
their...
idea about them was inspired by Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So basically, Charles is, because it was the 60s, and the whole idea about X-Men is about racism back then. Although there was a team of DC called Doom Patrol,
Oh, I watched
created
that.
before the X-Men.
Really? Doom
but-
Patrol was created before the X-Men?
Yeah, kind of, but there is, still people argue who was first and who copied. Both teams are great, I mean.
Well, I'm just seeing this now, 2019. Doom
Well, the
Patrol.
leader is literally a person who sits on a wheelchair. And he takes weird people with weird powers and then they go on missions.
By George, you're right.
Right? By Odin's beard. You know, if Thor says by Odin's beard, do you know what Odin says? By my beard. So,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, and that's the connection people always make with Doom Patrol and X-Men. Who was
Oh.
actually first, and did Stanley copy it here, or they copy it? It's kind of arguable still.
Oh God,
Uh,
that's incredible.
yeah, but the idea about Charles was basically Martin Luther King, who thought that we can all coexist.
Coexist, yeah.
And Malcolm X was kind of more, let's say, I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but I was really good in history. So,
You're trying. You're trying.
yeah. So he was more like Magneto thinking, yeah, we can, but we are a bit better. Which, to some things, is true, by the way. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I'm
still
watching
can't
Doom
play
Patrol.
basketball. So yeah, and then that's the idea. But again, they were always ready to forget about their differences and just say, now remember that we're actually friends. We have different views about things, and they always show that good in the movies. Doesn't matter was it Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen or Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Maybe
Wow.
you can feel you to see, yeah, that's Shadows there, and yes, that's Eric there.
That's what I meant, you know, when I said that superhero movies and characters kind of based on something in real life. Something has to inspire you to create those characters and the ideas behind them.
Yeah. You know, I have a student. He's not watching probably. Still, if you watch Meet Hero,
should though.
who likes comic books, but he literally said to his mom that he has F in history, and he said, "I'm not going to be a history professor or something like that." And I told him, but people who created comic books need to know history. And I told him, "You want to make comic books?" And he said, "Yes, well,
Yeah,
learn your history, man, because
you have to.
otherwise, yeah, you have to know those things."
It can incorporate so many things,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because you know history. And by Odin's beard,
Yeah.
I just thought of something again. There was an episode of Xena where Ares was like, "What in the name of?" And he's like stopping there. Me! It's happening here!
Nice. You
Yeah.
see? Yes. By my beard here gets insane.
Yeah, what in the name
Nice.
of me? Yeah, he's right. He could have said like the name of Zeus because it's his father, but he's too, you know,
Others,
yeah, he's
if
too
I'm honest, I'm not going
self-loving.
to say Zeus, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you're going to say
of course,
me.
of course, of course.
And if you watch this movie Hot Shots, have you seen Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, yeah.
1 and 2, and 2, there was a plane, you know, soldiers were, you know, jumping from it, and they're like, you know, jumping and screaming, you know, Geronimo, and they fall.
And there was Geronimo there.
And there was
right?
like
Nice.
an Indian guy, you know, native Indian, I mean Native American. He's coming out of the plane. He's like, me, and I'm like, tears. I'm laughing like
When
10
people
minutes.
weren't afraid of being not PC or things like that.
Oh, it
Good
was
old times.
so good,
Good
so
times.
good.
Nobody complained about the joke. But, yeah.
Well, that was, I think, the first spoof movie, or one of the first spoof movies. No, it's not the first, but one of the first spoof movies.
One of the better, by the way. You know.
Yeah, it's one of the
Not
most
the first,
funniest.
but yeah,
I'm
one of the
still
most
crying
funniest.
to this day when I'm watching Hot Shots 1 and 2. It's just so funny, like Charlie Sheen tries to, you know, do this, you know, to tight his eye.
Bandana.
Yeah. And you're seeing it, it's so epic. He's filmed from behind, he's flexing his biceps, and the hair looks wet and curly, and everything's perfect. He's turning around, and that is something his eyes.
Exactly. But that's what you should do in spoof movies. Like, as
Yeah,
you
and
said,
he's walking and he's hitting the first one.
because if you know, we talked about humor in movies.
Yeah.
That's why I liked that movie, because we said the humor is spot on. You have how many 2 jokes you said, and you didn't have those moments that feel like in a spoof movie. You have a serious moment that some superhero says something really serious, and then 5 seconds later, it's a joke.
Yeah.
That basically ruins all
the thing.
all those feelings that you have.
Yeah, it just loses the substance that they already tried to build beforehand. So when you see that joke, it's like, oh, so should I care now? I'm like confused, like within me, my spider senses and how I perceive the world is actually not, compatible with what they're showing me on screen. So, my brain's kind of confused
Yeah.
in that moment.
Serious thing happened in that story in Dark Phoenix, so you should just not expect jokes, as we said, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, for instance, again, sorry that I'm gonna bring this up again, but in Xena, everything was done so perfectly. I mean, there are some episodes that are complete comedy.
I remember that there was a musical episode.
There was two musicals. Yeah, two. So those episodes were like separate because it was supposed to tell a story about something that happened to Xena. Like in real life, we have funny moments, better days, worse days. So in that particular episodes, I mean, in those episodes, we had like an episodes where Xena is getting lice from somewhere, and Gabriel was getting fungus.
That's right. Yeah.
So there are so many jokes then. Like Gabriel is like, "Oh, your lice are talking to me," and Xena's like, "What are you talking about? I don't have lice." And she's like picking them up and throwing them. They're like, little sound effects.
How to put really good jokes with those characters that you see in series before that. I mean, you should have jokes, of course. But...
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because it's a separate episode and it's done in a certain setting and story that totally makes sense for what it's supposed to be. How it's presented just makes sense, and then I mean, it also gives amazing jokes that I'm just bursting out of laughter to this day. And then Xena says something like, "Well, at least I don't have this fungus among us."
Yeah, they didn't feel force.
Yeah.
All those jokes. Now in most of the comic book movies, they kind of start because you expect them.
Yeah, and then sorry, it's just very funny. So then there was a cure. There's
about
two
the
cures.
Lice or the fungus?
Well, about both things, but there's different cures.
Did the lice have fungus?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at one point, Gabriel got Xena's lice and Xena's got the fungus. So there had to change the cure between them, and Gabriel is like, I don't know if I had fungus on my lice or lice on my fungus.
So they had it. So they actually had it. Nice.
Yeah, it was very funny, and the first time that Gabriel tried to heal herself. I mean, Xena tried to heal Gabriel. She gave her like something in a mug, and Gabriel thought that it's for drinking. So she drank it, and it was it made her mouth numb. So she couldn't speak because her tongue was getting like frozen from the medicine. And she's like, starting to spit everywhere because she cannot move her tongue. So a bad guy comes. And I mean, the episode was also about the fact that some very fierce army that were called the Saipans or something like that, that once buried a man in Corinth, at Athens, and I don't know where. They were coming to steal like Greek fire from this village. The villagers were making it, and so Xena had to protect them, but she was in no condition. That was because it was so funny, because she's going like into the town's bar to announce that she's going to help, and she's like scratching everywhere, and her hair is this big because of the lice.
I remember that scene with her here.
Yeah, and Gabriel is with fungus, big green spots everywhere. It just looks disgusting. And, she asks a guy to hold the sword for her so she can scratch on the sword. It's just ridiculous. And on top of that, Joxer came with a great stew that he made. I mean, it's great according to him. And he poisoned everybody, including Xena and Gabriel. So now they started to throw up. All the village started to throw up. And at the end, the idea was to give the Saipans from this, so they can eat from that. So they kind of kidnapped or, tried to kind of kill the chef of the army. While Gabriel is caught into a bush, trying to get out of the bush. That's another thing. So Joxer succeeds in poisoning the whole army. So when it's time to attack, they're like all on the ground and they all have, diarrhea. But Gabriel also has diarrhea, so and Xena also has diarrhea.
That's why she was in the bush.
No, that's another time when she was in the bush. She was trying to sneak and look, who is coming, so Xena could also take her horse was kidnapped. That's another thing. So there was another line. There was something called banshees in Xena. So instead of the expression, nature code, because Gabriel want to make Xena get away from the bush so she can use it apparently. So Joxer was like, "Oh, what nature code?" And Gabriel was like, "No, it screams like a wild banshee." So she's kicking out Xena from the,
That's good humor when they did it.
Yeah, so, and in the end, like, there's obviously a lot of other funny things, but the other funny thing that is worth mentioning is that the guy that was not Zeg, the only guy, was the Siphons, the son of the leader of the Siphons. So he came to kill Xena while she was sleeping, but of course she expects that, although she's very sick. And Xena is like waiting for him. He comes, of course, and he sees like a bed and with something like a head, but he thinks that Xena is sleeping there. So he's striking the bed with his sword like immediately, and it turns out to be a watermelon, of course. And then all of a sudden,
because that resembles human head the most.
It's perfect. It's perfect, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well, you can see it's actual watermelon because it's like covered with sheets and everything. So it kind of, it looks very good from the side. So he's like surprised what's happening, and Zilla basically manages to hit him and then do the punch thing, which is her pressure point attack, like here, in which she stops the blood, the flow of blood to the brain, and he has 30 seconds to say everything that he can, because if she doesn't release the pressure, he's going to die because he doesn't have any
I remember
blood
it was
going
badass moments when she did this.
Yeah.
Now you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very funny again because she's doing that, and she's like, going like this because she has to go to the bathroom again. And she's like turning to Gabriel, like, I did ask him everything. Like she's going to the bathroom, leaving the man there, with the punch. That he's like.
Did she finish for 30 seconds? Or?
Well, we didn't see because then because he was on the floor and Gabriel was trying to drag herself somehow to him, so she was on the bed actually, and she was on top of him, but because she was numb, she had all those saliva dropping on him, on his forehead, like the Chinese torture with the water. And it's like drops, and he's like unable to move, just tortured all the time, and she's like, talk, because she can't talk. She's like, talk. And he's like, what? And then she's like, talk. Tell us what you know. But she's almost, barely understandable. And he's like, what? Screaming. Then when, the shot cuts away. So yeah, amazing.
And
sorry,
you're
guys.
Laughing most of the time.
Yeah, I'm crying. Like, we're talking about the feelings, though. We're still talking about the feelings.
And how there is no humor there, but that's the refreshing thing. Actually.
But here's a lot more humor.
Yeah. So we kind of
right here.
Kind of did good on that.
Yeah. Hopefully you understood something, because it's so funny to me that I'm barely keeping it together.
Well, most of them will watch Xeno probably, or they are going to after that.
Yeah, I'm making like a huge commercial for free all
even
the time.
Even now, you.
Even now, that's very unintentional though. And every time that I'm referencing Xena is because it really makes sense, it's relevant to what we're talking about. And that was like so many years ago, and it still did so many things better than now, so it's worth mentioning.
It's really show that it did things kind of better than most movies or most shows. I mean, shows like Arrow and The Flash can really learn some things.
Yeah, how to not
shows like that. How to not screw a character, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
How to not write lame lines, very childish dialogue. How to not do that. How to actually everything that you're speaking. I mean, the characters' interactions. How is actually so true to real life and natural. How people will interact, or characters whatever will interact. So like learn from that.
Dido says, "Who's the young man?"
Hi Dido, and yeah,
Yeah,
this
thank
is
you, Dido. I'm 34.
You're still young,
But
though.
still, thank you. Yes.
You're still young though. So that's Kirill from Superheroes Bulgaria. You can visit the site if you like. It's awesome. If you want to know, everything that you need to know about your superheroes and everything that you want to know, you can find all the information in Bulgarian. A lot of amazing articles there, and of course, our reviews and my reviews. So
Yes.
in Bulgarian, in the
Shameless
latest
plug.
superhero.
But yes.
Huh?
Shameless plug now. We did it. Nice.
Shameless?
Shameless plug. When we,
Aha.
Yeah,
We,
good.
we
However,
can do that.
of course.
It's our show.
So yeah, check it out if you really like comic books and characters, or if you wonder where to start.
Yeah, just to before we move on, because we really have to move on.
Yeah.
Although I can do this all night. You have how much time? It's 9:46.
Well, maybe until 10:30.
You sure?
Fine. Yeah, I can always catch something to go.
Okay, but that's really because it's gonna be too late then. So 10:30.
Yeah. Fine.
Okay, so we have to get to the trailer. And first, I'm gonna review your comments. I'm sorry that it took so long, but we're just losing in our amazing conversation here. So let's continue. I'm just first watching the IVX comments on Facebook. Never agree to kill sick people. You never know when you're faced with the number 2. when you experience the sensation of the life on your face, try to clean the environment. Yeah, first clean everything.
By the way, lice on fungus sounds like topping for the cake.
Huh?
Lice on fungus
Yeah.
sounds like topping for the cake.
Oh my god.
Interesting cake would that be?
I just imagine some assassin, like imagine Agent 47 or Assassin's Creed, like he's going into your room. He's like, "Excuse me, sir, I'm here to kill ya. But first, let me clean everything." I'm gonna clean everything, and then I'm gonna kill you.
Well, of course, then you can kill after that.
Yeah,
Really,
and then he has to clean again because he's going to make everything dirty. Unless the point is that you just kill in a clean environment, then it doesn't matter what it is, after. Okay, so what else in Twitch?
They're discussing how you control people and things like that, or
Zalmoxis? Well, actually, that makes a lot of sense in the terms that, well, I can actually, I mean, if that is like, that's kind of meaning brings some questions. Of course, that if you can't find information about something, you still need some kind of a source of information. This is going to be like a book or the internet, and then you have to research where this information is coming from. If it's from a reliable source, how to make sure that it's can't say this, reliable source. And it's kind of complicated in that regard because you always have to learn. First you have to learn how to check your information, then you have to read from a lot of different places so you can compare information. Maybe you
you have to learn how to be critical. I mean, you can't believe the first source you see or things like that.
I mean, being critical is a part of this. It's like implied in what I'm saying, but I mean that when you start to learn something, you also have to know how to learn it, and how to assess it, how to understand whether or not it's believable. I mean, sometimes there's a lot of things that sound that are unbelievable, then they're proven to be, believable. So just compare information from different sources and all of that. And if there's no information for this particular Bulgarian god, I don't know, maybe someday they're going to dig a site and you're going to see more information about it. For something more popular like Egyptian gods or Greek gods, you can find a lot of information that is not exactly, all over the place. I mean, it's not like mainstream. For instance, this is totally about the movie, but it kind of is a bit related because there's this guy Apocalypse, and he was from Egypt.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah. So, I mean that there are some scientists that actually separate from other scientists from, the mainstream scientists because they discovered other things that really, the authorities do not want to be, do not want to spread out as, information. Like literally there are such things. There's no like lame conspiracy stuff. There are real, some of them are real, some of them are not, so they're really lame. I mean, let's say that there was secret information and then somebody came out and said, wow, it's a conspiracy, and then somebody else came out and said, wow, it's another conspiracy, and then becomes like a highlight, like a big news, and all of a sudden nobody believes anything anymore because this guy or that particular information came out in a certain way that it made it sound like it's illegitimate, and then everybody says like, well, there's no this and that because all of the information that we ever saw is just so ridiculous or sounds lame and presented in that way. So you have to know so many things about so many things to have any kind of a objective, even mindset on how to view certain things. So it's complicated. That's why you don't have to. I mean, you really should not release every possible information to the whole world.
Sometimes you have to let yourself to the unknown.
Yeah, and if you're interested in what is unknown, you can always do your research and see where it leads you if you're that interested, of course. I'm personally a person that is very interested in so many things, and I spent a big part of my childhood researching Atlantis and so many other topics that nobody else cared about that I knew. So I was like a kid that's always like, wow, the cosmos, the hidden continent of Atlantis. Was there such thing? Okay, let's find out. And
I still do that.
yeah.
I mean, I literally researched everything about Queen after watching Bohemian Rhapsody. Just to see, was it actually like that? Okay, I enjoyed the movie, I didn't care, was it really like, but I like researching things.
Yeah,
But
I did
nobody
that too.
cares about, but was it really like that? Let me just see, I was curious. Was it like that?
There's
Who
already
can tell
top
you
10.
was it like that? I mean, there were 20 articles about his life or things. That's always, okay, let me
Yeah,
read it.
but there's already a top 10 about how it's not like
Yeah, of course.
the real
Yeah,
story.
of course. Yeah.
Of course there is. Duration and specific. Well, how did we get from the freaking Dark Phoenix review to the Thracian gods?
Nobody knows, but
Yeah, like how did that happen? I mean, it's common
still the
from.
movie's cool though, so don't forget to watch it.
Yeah, so we're talking about the movie, this little movie right here. So unfortunately, this movie is going to go out in history as the lowest grossing, the worst X-Men movie, which is a real,
Lowest working, yes.
yeah,
And
real
it's the
pity.
last of that universe.
Yeah, so it basically goes out with not a bang, but something like meh.
Yeah. People had maybe high expectations, but as you said in the Bulgarian review, by the way, we had three different things always with superhero movies. We had Marvel, then DC started, and before that, we always had Fox's X-Men. You know, that universe that was there, and it was always different.
Yeah.
It was.
They
They
didn't
didn't
follow
care
anything.
about continuity or things. They just
They
wanted to
didn't
make
follow
movies.
anything. They didn't
Yeah.
follow continuity.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. So they were just themselves.
And it was always refreshing to see them. I mean, it was X-Men movies. Not the X-Men were part of something bigger. Like, oh, what if we put X-Men in the Avengers? Okay, but then how exactly are you going to see X-Men? I mean, are you going to pay attention to them or to all the characters that will be there? I mean, it's great, of course, to have all of them, but sometimes a movie needs to be about a character. You need sometimes a smaller movie for that.
I guess they didn't actually ask those questions a
No.
lot in
No.
the studio when they gathered. So it's basically something like the last episode of, the last table read of Game of Thrones, if you've seen that. I've seen just parts of it, but it was basically something like all the actors reading what's about to happen. And one of the main actors was like,
Nice. That's his general reaction. Nice. Great.
yeah, I mean, oh, how stupid is this? I mean, it's literally what his face was saying, or people are gonna hate this so much, and I have to play it. Oh no!
Well, he has a contract though.
Yeah,
So-
he's obliged.
That's what the X-Men movies did for me, actually. They were, we are here just an X-Men movie. We show you what happens with X-Men.
Yeah.
You don't expect watching an X-Men movie. You don't expect. Oh, but what is Captain America? I mean, you're watching an X-Men movie,
Yeah.
so you should know when you buy a comic book, you don't buy an X-Men movie to see where is Spider-Man now. Is he going to appear here for 5 panels? You're buying an X-Men
Yeah.
comic book, so. It's great when you have crossovers and all the other things, of course, like Marvel did, but sometimes you need a movie that focuses just on characters.
Yeah.
for those
And
things.
sometimes when you have too many characters in one place, it's going to be something like the first Avengers movie, like, hey Thor, yeah, what's happening? I don't know. Then Iron Man says something, then Bruce Banner says something, and they're just like throwing a ball with the
Yeah.
lines, like you say something, you say, because they all have to have their screen time, so it kind of comes out as artificial.
It kind of happened with X-Men when you have too many mutants, by the way, but in Dark Phoenix you don't have all those cameos of mutants that, hey, and he is there just to see, look, and you have, for example, a mutant who is there just to display some powers and for the fans to know, hey, and he's there in the movie. I mean, there were
Yeah.
2 mutants that they did that, but in other X-Men movies they did it more.
Yeah, I think I just
So
think
it
that
was
the movie
actually-
had a
yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie had a very good focus on.
It's
you know,
called The Dark Phoenix,
Yeah.
and you focus on that.
Yeah,
You don't focus on
actually,
other things.
that is exactly what the TV shows are not doing. They're not focusing on their main characters, on their heroes. The Flash, Supergirl,
You mean the flush?
the Flush.
Because it should be flushed more. Yeah, okay. Especially after 3rd season. I think.
Yeah, the Flush,
Yeah.
and and everything that is CW related is not focusing on the main character, the hero. The title of the TV show is just.
What, you don't like Tom wearing a Superman in Smallville?
Don't
You remember that
make
show?
me super-
Smallville?
Yeah.
20 years ago or something? It was CW show.
It was 20 years maybe from the first episode, but not from the last episode. That was 2010.
Yeah.
It was 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least.
I've watched that. Well,
Yes.
it is one of those things that I really hated how he tried to be Superman so much,
But he wasn't.
but that he wasn't at all. And it's like watching a guy sitting on the toilet trying to,
Yeah.
get one
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It was so
Well.
painful to watch at points, because there's one episode when he was bad and actually he manifested his powers like right away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that, yes. Well, he was bad to Gary, so he was bad.
He was bad. That means that
What
when he's
other
good,
explanations do you need? He's just bad.
that means that when he's good, he's like a complete wuss.
Well, because he doesn't believe in himself.
Wow, what a
Yeah,
wuss.
you could be like that.
He's not supposed to be like that. He's freaking Superman. I mean, he basically turned 40. By the end, he was completely himself.
Mhm.
And we didn't get to see him. We saw like a shot from like what 300 meters in space,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even Henry Cavill wearing the costume. It was like CGI
Tom
figure.
Welling.
Did they say what did they say?
You said Henry Cavill.
Oh, hey Henry Cavill. I miss you, Superman. Apparently.
Yeah, well.
So Tom Welling, yeah, and he didn't want to wear the costume, and at the end when he did wear it, when they show it like him in the Fortress of Solitude, he was holding it. It looked exactly like the costume from Superman Returns, which probably was.
Because it's the same costume, yes.
Right. So yeah, and then the logo was too small. It just looked ridiculous, like he was wearing a kid's shirt or something.
Not to mention that Tom Welling was already with 40 pounds heavier.
Oh yeah, he did look heavier.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
And not all of that was muscle, by the way, because they didn't show him shirtless anymore, like in the last.
Maybe the muscles on his
episode.
face were muscles, but everything else.
Well, he does have a pretty nice face structure, but other than that, he really showed that he did gain some weight that was not muscle. And he's supposed to be like naturally very buff and muscular and lean without doing anything. That's kind of the point of being the most strong, being physically in the universe. But anyways, so yeah, guys, so that's one of the things that I really hated, because this pattern of how superhero shows were made started from Smallville. We had the hero that is never the focus, or sometimes is the focus.
Put too many characters around him.
Too many people to save his ass.
At
all
one
the
moment,
time.
all of them turn superheroes. They have powers, or they have costumes or things like that.
Yeah.
And then the show, it's not called The Flash, but The Flash and his gang. Or, the gang of The Flash.
The gang of the Arrow gang, the Supergirls gang, the this universe, what not this universe, but Heroes of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of
Nothing
Tomorrow.
legendary in that show, by the way. Nothing legendary, except that it's legendary bad. So
it's legendary bad, yeah. It's freaking is.
Brandon Routh is okay there. I mean, who played Superman before that?
Yeah, and he's so weak there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally, this is Ant-Man there. But he's so lame.
It's not even that.
Yeah, he's like, everything is breaking. He can't fix the technology that he has.
And he's supposed to be a genius and things like that.
Of course.
Well, supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Nothing of that happens in Dark Phoenix, but all of the actors look also.
Yeah, maybe people don't understand how these things work. I mean, critics don't understand how movie can actually have a focus. At this time, I mean, they are always complaining about such things, especially a focus, but this time movie actually has a focus on the main character, and it's very obviously shown that what is happening to her, I mean, to the Phoenix, to Jean Grey, is most important, and the other characters were just there in that timeline to support her, just interact with her in that point of time. They were not the point of the movie, so if they didn't get all the screen time that you're thinking that they should have, it's just not their movie. It's not called the X-Men 5 or something like this. It's not about the team.
Phoenix, yes.
Yeah, it's literally called the Dark Phoenix, because it's all about her. So I just kind of feel that, perception of superhero movies and how people think that those things should go and should be made, it's like so twisted to this point, where everything, all the all the media that is created around all of the movies, and basically the ways that they're already established, of structure of the movies and the characters representation, that they just can't tell anymore when everything is good, but in a different way.
It's kind of like some type of devolution or something like that. I mean, years ago, those superhero movies were not taken too seriously. I mean, we had things like Batman and Robin or other things
Fantastic
like that.
Four.
And Fantastic Four, yes, suck. And people were not happy about those things. Then you make something different and serious, and people said, "Wow, we actually can make." I mean, even studios, so we can actually make good movies with comic books. People think that it's something actually okay. And after that, you go back to Batman and Robin. Well, not as bad, I mean, but as a type of humor that now it's all the same, more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. And when you put out something different, that's it actually not this gigantic tentpole movie, but actually a contained movie about a story. Here you have a character that happens to her. The team around her has to help or not help even, or other things like that, and then people say, well, it's not as epic as it should be. Well, as a movie called Dark Phoenix, it shows a good story about the character. If you want to see the whole saga or things like that, you just read the comic book, or you go to the animated series, which, I think in third season it was the Phoenix Saga was 5 episodes, and then you had Dark Phoenix, which was 5 more. So if you can if you take them and you give them to Gary to edit them into one big movie with intro and outro and everything, then you have a good animated movie based on the Phoenix Saga as a whole.
That's a good
And
idea.
then you have a good representation of that. But as a movie called Dark Phoenix, it shows you the Dark Phoenix. It doesn't show you, now let's see how many characters will come to help her here, and who else is here, which mutant is here, and everyone is here. Is Stanley here? By the way, no. He's not there.
Oh God, he's not.
Yeah, he doesn't have a cameo.
He does not have a cameo.
Although he had in Fox movies, even though he had before.
Yeah, well,
some of them. Yeah, maybe they
I
didn't
didn't record it, or it was happening during the time that he was
the
on
reshoots
holiday.
or things like that.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
All of that brings me to one thought, and it's Disney call us.
Of course.
We can do it.
You can always do that.
Yeah, we can do it. So anyway, guys, we have to really speed this up. So now let's just look at your comments real quick. Then we're going to look the trailer of the new Avengers game that is probably a long time in the making. We are just keeping our fingers crossed for Superman game, but yeah, that's not a thing. The last time that I played Superman game was on Xbox 360, and it was Superman Returns.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's
That game. Oh wow.
yeah, I did play this. Also, this Universe Online did play this as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ivy says, sounds like I wrote too many characters in those shows, or the sake of overly done drama. Oh yeah, the drama is like a flood there, but it's not very good because all the character dialogue is super stupid, like for a kids show.
I mean, there is drama and there is drama. Okay.
Like, should I laugh or should I cry?
Oh my god! Yeah. The drama is that I'm wondering what to do now. Oh my god! Should
I'm
I stop
confused, I
watching?
just can't.
Yeah, that's the drama of it. I mean,
should I stay or should I go?
Nice. See, we can make them. Now they claim you for that song.
Oh no!
Yeah. Nice. Well,
They're gonna claim me.
of course. Wow.
They're gonna come here.
Wow. Okay.
Pick me up with the chair. Just they're gonna
Wow.
claim me.
Wow. Well,
Just claim me. Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna be happy.
For singing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if they're gonna claim me, they're probably gonna pay me as well. So that's good.
Yeah. No,
That's
so
gonna
if
be a
Dark
positive.
Phoenix got that element right, that's a good point already. Of course, Ivy, right? Nice.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Ivy. Let's see what's happening here. Yes, Dido, I am watching E3, but exactly, I mean, at the moment I can because I'm streaming myself. We are going to discuss this E3 trailer though. Yesterday I did the E3 stream, so there's that.
So let's see the trailer. And let's
Yeah.
hope that we
Because
discuss the trailer at that time.
because we really have to go. Okay. Superhero related stuff are starting now. Like we haven't ever talked about superheroes here. No.
Never.
Just like for the past 500 hours. Okay. Here it is. So without further ado, guys, let's see this and react to this trailer.
Well,
There is a Queen
I
Jet.
did.
The Queen Jet is most
It
important.
was awesome. The Avengers
Who is the
were
Queen of the
everything
Avengers?
I
So let's go
imagined.
with Queen Jet.
Ah, that's an interesting point.
Thor, Tony, check it
So
out.
they have the MCU costumes,
But not
but
really.
not
They're
MCU
very different.
faces. So
This is actually the first Iron Man suit that is a bit modified. Thor has something like a drag queen suit.
at least he's not fat. So
He's not fat at least.
that scene there should have happened in Thor Ragnarok when Bruce Banner jumped out of the plane.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
But it didn't.
He's- Captain America looks like he swallowed a truck.
Thor, what's your status?
Well,
So
it's because of the
but
chemicals still.
he looks like a big block of bricks. Okay. He's not showing his figure like in the movie. Like, I'm always like, no, why?
The
What?
gameplay with the Hulk looks
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
kind of more interesting here.
You're-
But there will be some differences so that you actually feel that you play with a different character and
Tony,
just
Thor,
button
the
mashing
tables.
and all that.
Well, you're gonna smash things.
Well,
Cap, what's going on over there?
But I mean, maybe there will be differences when you play with Cap.
Oh, for sure.
Because otherwise,
Sure, everything, I mean, each one of them has to feel different.
No, stay on task.
No
There's
way
still
around that.
civilians
remember
on
when
this
games
bridge.
with multiple characters give you the chance to choose only one from the beginning to them, not to play with all in different places.
Oh, that's really, that's
remember
nice.
that?
That's
Yeah.
nice, yeah. I'm not sure what game you're referencing exactly, but I do remember.
Older games
this.
in which you know, like some beat 'em ups, which you have 3 guys and a woman,
Some
and
say
you
they
have
were
to
set up.
beat up all sorts of guys, but you choose one and you can play only with that guy.
Others
Or-
call them
or-
murderers.
Yeah, oh, that really sucks. Tony looks like a drummer from a rock band.
Well,
and a bit puff.
We all lost something that day.
And of course, we have
That's not how this
a
story
huge
ends.
apocalypse,
Well,
similar to what we have in the movies, but it's just, you
And-
know, Avengers' fault again because they failed again.
and
It's just
they're
a
angry
different
at each other.
scenario.
Yeah, so.
Of course, they're angry at each other. You have to be angry at each other. Like, how else could this happen? The logo's a bit different. I mean, it's not exactly Dave from the movies. Okay, so oh, that's another scene. Oh yeah, that's great. Just let them fight
Great scene,
big
though.
generic monsters, I guess.
Maybe they actually, as we said, if they use some differences in gameplay with different characters.
Yeah,
Could
there
be
is. And you also be able to play with all the characters separately. I mean, no, I mean, when you play the single player, you'll be able to play with whoever you choose in the given time, I think. So, yeah, you'll be able to switch between them, I think. But
Oh, nice.
you can play also in multiplayer. I mean, when you play in multiplayer, you can, you know, choose only one. So if you have like a team of Avengers, you can be like whoever you wish, then we can switch them, you know.
No, at least that will have some replayability. If nothing else, I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can play like, for instance, if I play Thor, you can play Captain
Mhm.
America, somebody else can play Black Widow, and so on, and we can form the whole Avengers and go kick
Yeah.
some online ass.
Unless if people are not like kids and say, no, I wanted to play with the Hulk. No, I want Hulk. No.
We can switch. Although, you know, I noticed, because, you know, I play a lot of games, that when I play different characters, not always a particular character that you really like in general is good to be played with. It's not the same. I mean, it doesn't give you the satisfaction that you expected, let's say.
Well, maybe like, you know, like in RPGs or again, some other game which you have, let's say you have certain types of characters. You have the brawler or you have the balanced one, and you have someone who is, you know, faster or doing things like that. Maybe they'll do something like that so that you know at what point to choose who. So I mean, if maybe for certain levels Cap will be better, and for others,
Oh yeah, you can have
it's like
situations
that,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
if it's not a set of level here, these levels, these missions, you have to play with Captain America, or in this, if you can actually choose and switch to know now who will fit better for those missions.
Yeah, then, like for instance, I mean, this is what it comes up to my mind. Like in that situation on the bridge, there's probably going to have different tasks, you know, for different heroes. Like for instance, if a bus is trying to fall down from the bridge, somebody has to hold
Yeah.
it up. If some cars have to be like rearranged, so somebody has to be pulled out from them. You know, you can choose to do that. So you're probably going to have some kind of a perspective of what needs to be done. So and you'll know who of those characters are going to do what. So you get to choose what kind of a role you're going to play in that particular situation, and then by that you're choosing the character that you're
Yeah.
going to play with. And if you don't like finishing this task, you can finish it, you know. I mean, you can just leave that person's body, so to speak, and go to another character and do something else. But you're probably going to catch it like in the middle of it, because
Yeah.
I assume that if you're playing this solo on the single player campaign, all the rest of the heroes, they're going to do things automatically somehow. That is going to, you know, be alongside the story, is going to follow the story. So whatever you choose to do, you're going to catch it that particular character and that particular moment that's happened. So it's going to be like complete and to a certain point, I think. Like for instance, if you're picking up the bus, but you decide to just like bring it to the bridge, into safety, but then all of a sudden you decide to do something else. You just switch and you catch Thor in the middle of the air and smashing something, from the bridge down direction, something like that. I don't know. I'm just giving, my
Could work like that. If
yeah.
it's not just, a third-person action game or thing. I mean, you just take a character and you go and you
Well, it's
smash
third
everything that you
person.
see.
It's third person
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's how you see the character in
Yeah.
third person. You don't see it in first person.
But they can still have some switchability between not just here, this is who I'm choosing, or you give me for those missions, and now let's just go and mash. Probably there. Or, maybe they'll do something like with the Arkham games for Batman, or it's too high to hope that. Who knows?
Well, with the Arkham games, you can play with Nightwing sometimes,
Yeah,
but you
sometimes.
can't play them and switch between them, I don't think, at the same time.
No. No, but I mean as gameplay, I mean if the fighting is the fight scenes, maybe they'll do it in that style.
I don't know, it's
Although not
Square
all of them
Enix.
should. Yeah.
I don't know what they can do. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can do some good games like Tomb Raider series, although the last game was not really what we expected. There's so many elements of it that are so old. It's not how games should be done. You're just very restricted in terms of how you move and all of that. When you compare it to Uncharted, it's just like night and day difference. Uncharted is like 10 years ahead, so many things. So when I played that, I was just like, really? Like Lara is like tied up to the ground or something. She's so stiff. She can't crouch when I want her. She can't do so many things that I want her to do. So I'm not sure Square Enix. Technology-wise, they're able to do a lot of things. They're a big studio, but in terms of how the game is, I just think that Marvel probably took the front seat and tried to somehow help them with that. Hopefully, because we do need a very good game that is going to be on some
Yeah.
kind of a level, some kind of a level. Just assuming to the movies. I hope it sounds like when I'm saying it, just sounds like too high of an expectation, but. Yeah, actually, when I'm watching the game, it reminds me of the old animations a lot more than the new movies.
Yeah.
And
It
dialogue
has that feeling,
wise.
yes. Especially Tony with longer hair, who was like in the old Iron Man cartoon from the 90s image. He had long hair in the second season.
I think you're right. He had a kind of a mullet though.
Yeah.
Ah,
Exactly.
damn it! I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay,
He had
guys.
it in comic books though, so but we haven't had a good Avengers game, or
No, never.
never.
We
I
haven't
mean,
had.
there were those. What was the name, that RPG like Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah,
in which you
I did
can-
play that, although
Yeah.
I don't like it. But I did play that when you see all the characters from above the asymmetric view.
It was RPG, so that's why you see them like that.
Yeah, I think it can be RPG, and at the same time it can have this view as well. I mean, it doesn't get in the way of being an RPG as well, because RPG is just what you're doing in the game, but you can do it from upstairs. And Square, which is not
Maybe
gonna
here
be
they'll do that.
immersive enough.
Third person, but you can have all the other things from RPG.
Yes, you can, of course, like the new Assassin's Creed games are. It's action game and RPG at the same time.
Woohoo.
Yeah, woohoo!
Nice.
It's actually very nice because you can switch armor and pick up stuff and upgrade, and everything that you pick up along the way actually matters. From everything you can make something.
You should try different things.
Yeah, I really love
Games don't have to be the same all the time. Nor movies.
nor movies, yeah. So next we have to see Spider-Man Far From Home. Of course, we're expecting for Peter Parker to get, this facial hair and and the Tony's glasses, of course.
He already have them. I mean, in the trailer he uses some sort of things.
Of course, and who is making that technology again when Tony's dead?
Ah, nice point. Never thought of that. Who is doing those things now?
Who's continuing his brand?
I mean, maybe Pepper or something.
Oh yeah, she's the one that thought of everything. You're right.
Of course, it was always her, not
was
as
always her.
Iris says to the Flash.
Yeah.
You're not the Flash, we are the Flash. So you're not Iron Man, we are Iron Man.
You know, probably the
Kinda.
computer inside her costume or armor just had all the schematics and all of the
Probably.
things. Yeah,
Probably.
just
Yeah.
reproduce like 1,000 more of these glasses.
Mysterio looks cool though. I mean, that movie.
Yeah, but he's from another alternate
Is he
universe.
though?
Is he though?
It's Mysterio.
He could lie, you know. He could, but it's gonna make a lot of sense that they want to bring the X-Men into
In
the
the original
universe.
comic book and in the episode of the animated series, that's how you first introduced him. He was representing himself as a hero to make Spider-Man look bad.
Oh, but he also has real powers here.
Does he? Do we know that?
Well,
Are they really magical powers, or is it just again Mysterio?
you're right, but although you know when he does something, there's these circles that resemble you know Doctor Strange's
Doctor Strange.
circles, so it kind of looks like
Could
he
be.
is doing something real.
Maybe it's in that version, in that universe. Yeah, maybe he actually has magical powers.
Who knows? But I just think that it's very welcome to, you know, for him to be from an alternate universe because that way they can always represent the same or similar X-Men to the ones that we already have. They're just going to say, well, they're from different worlds, so that's why they're all so different and act so different from us, and they're not. So.
Well, yeah, they can
you
say
know.
that actually. They can
They
say we
can?
had the mutants all along, but they were just in that universe.
Yeah, it perfectly
Why
makes
not?
sense.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna fit a lot better together, and it's not going to confuse that much the general audience that doesn't know all of those things that
Already
we
got
know.
confused of Fox's continuity issues.
If you haven't already been confused,
yeah.
you still have time.
But yeah, that's actually that can fit really well if they said, yeah, here we have these mutants. I think so. Now they can say mutants because before
Yeah.
that they
But the
weren't allowed to.
mutants also had their own time twisting something, and now we also
Because
have,
Doctor Who was there.
of course,
Yeah.
and we also have now a phoenix on the loose, and that's pretty awesome. She is going to fit perfectly with the Marvel universe, especially if she can somehow bring Thanos like and snap him or something, and then just
Yeah.
burn him alive. That's gonna be
If
so
she
cool.
if she was there, by the way.
Yeah, she's going to be like because I watched part of an episode from that old 90s X-Men show where, you know, she was the Phoenix already, and she's like, I'm this cosmic being and I came here. I'm like, ooh, it speaks, but it's going to be very funny in the movies if she actually does that. And she's like, I'm the cosmic being. I'm very powerful. Oh, Thanos. You know, just kill him right there on the spot. It's going to be so
they
fun.
can go back with that story.
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
always do that. But,
yeah.
but remember, Marvel is going to introduce the humor.
Yeah,
So
of course.
it's going to be a funny Phoenix.
Well, you know, Magneto could say a joke or two also,
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I already thought of something.
of a joke.
Yeah.
So Marvel and Disney, listen carefully.
Yeah, listen
The
carefully.
joke is coming.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So let's say Magneto and a lot of other X-Men and non-X-Men characters are in the room because let's say that they're, you know, have some kind of a negotiations about something. And Thor casually walks, you know, through the room because he's fat and he doesn't care.
so he'll stay fat.
He'll stay fat
Oh,
still.
okay.
Just for a few more
Moments.
minutes. Yeah.
Nice.
So Magneto is trying to explain something very serious and very manly.
All
Probably
right.
because Michael Fassbender is a very manly looking guy. And and all of a sudden he's doing like something like this because he's getting, you know, really amped up. And one fork and spoon like sticks to his hand.
Oh my god.
And Thor comes along, he's like, here's how I love that. He just
I can see that in a Marvel movie, by the way. I can
just
totally see
casually
that.
walks and just takes that from his hand. Magneto's like, what? You know? It's going to
Wouldn't be
so funny.
surprised
Yeah.
if they do that, yeah.
It's a great opportunity to use Magneto's powers for something like that. And
You can always see Wolverine's fighting a salami or something, like in the cartoons.
yeah, he was like,
So,
or again, you know, Wolverine just, you know, doing this, you know, getting them out, and some other character walks by and he's like, oh, cool, can I use that for my cheese? I have so many ideas, Disney. Call me. Like I said,
they already know Kevin Feige is listening
they're gonna claim me, I knew it.
again. Joke copywriting.
But it's my joke, damn it. I just thought of that.
It's a good joke, yeah. I can totally see that in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
The one with Magneto the Forex, yeah.
You see?
Yeah,
Together we make another Phoenix.
nice.
But it's with superheroes.
Not so dark Phoenix.
That,
yeah.
not so dark. Together we
Fun
make
Phoenix.
the orange Phoenix.
Phoenix, or Phoenix.
We
Dark
make the Phoenix.
Yeah, the Phoenix.
Somebody record that. It's pretty genius. I think it's gonna stick.
Yeah,
The
here we
Phoenix.
throw something at the wall and it's stuck.
It kind of stuck. Well, before we started the stream, we were trying to throw tomatoes, metaphorically. Actually,
This
something.
reminds me of the line of Penguin in Batman Returns when he was at a square or something and he had to say something to the people, but then Batman told some CD that he recorded him earlier how he said something better, and there were people with eggs and tomatoes, and he said, "Oh, why people always bring tomatoes and eggs to places like that?"
Yeah, right, tomatoes. Why
Yeah.
not carrots, cheese, salami?
Or not bringing them at all. I mean, you go to listen to the mayor. He was the mayor. Why do you bring those things?
They went to Walmart before.
Yeah, Gotham is famous with their Walmart.
Before every superhero speech and every speech at all, they just go to Walmart.
You
They-
buy cheap tomatoes and eggs,
Or
just in case.
or the other theory could be that all the people that usually go at Walmart during speech time, that a speech could happen, are just the regular folks, so they are more prone to such acts like throwing groceries at whoever is speaking.
Probably that's the case.
It
I
makes
think so.
sense.
It makes
It
sense.
is true because it only makes sense. Okay?
Good. But yeah, at least this movie doesn't deserve for throwing tomatoes at it, although some people already did it.
It's pretty great, and we did give it an 8 and
Yeah, and a half.
and a half.
Yes.
This half is just a bonus for to somehow tries to add an additional positive percent on this movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot for that. I mean, I enjoyed the Avengers Endgame more, so if I give there a 9.5 for things I can't give to Dark Phoenix.
It's hard to compare. It's totally
Yeah,
different.
so yeah, but still.
Yeah, it's
It's-
still for what it is. That's why I have like when I rate movies, I always say like for what it is, for the genre that it's in, for a superhero movie, let's say, it's this and that. For an X-Men film, in this case, I would say it's definitely an 8. For a superhero movie, it's even I would consider it an 8, although it's a smaller movie. But for what it tries to do, I think that it did accomplish
Smaller
that.
but self-contained movie. Yes.
Yeah. And we don't have a lot of self-contained movies these days. It's always sequel
Yeah.
to a sequel, and the sequel has a sequel.
Yes, and look, we were building a shared universe. That's why we
Yeah.
put from the first movie we put things inside.
Of course,
We
that
have
to set everything up for the future because money. So, but that's kind of not fair point. I just said it because it's funny, but in the comic books it's actually the same because we do have to continue the story. It's not only. It's not because it is about the money, but it's just a reason for people to create stuff.
to still create a great story and win money. I mean,
Yeah, it's just using your talents for
So, yeah.
something that's gonna entertain people and gonna inspire people. So of course that you have to have something back so you can eat.
of course, well, people must eat.
That because
Yeah.
that
Duh.
guys.
Again, it means yes
Yeah,
in Bulgarian. And
Yeah.
inclusion, by the way.
In
Maybe in
Russian.
other languages.
yeah. So yeah, they know.
They know. Well, you told them already. Nice.
I think so.
Next time,
Next
lessons in Bulgarian.
Yeah, let's listen Bulgarian with an English teacher.
Whoa, nice.
Okay, guys, so it was all so awesome that it's just super great and unbelievable. But we have to,
Humoristic. Go to our lives now, yes.
Yeah.
Because we do have a life outside of those things.
outside the camera. Although I would love to do this for a living, but YouTube is gonna claim me, so I can't.
But you have a living.
I mean, to do this
Oh,
for a
yeah,
living.
yeah.
I mean,
They already claimed you for singing, so.
okay.
Right?
My inner Pikachu is calling.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Okay, guys, so thank you very much. I hope that you had fun as much as we did. This was first time doing this, but we do plan to continue with a lot of shows in Bulgarian and English. and we see what comes out of it, and we're very happy
Yeah.
to do
We're
it.
just
and
going to throw things again. And
just
whatever
gotta throw
happens,
things,
yes.
tomatoes particularly, because nothing else is fun when it's you know,
Should be a
splushing.
tomato.
Yeah, should be a tomato. That brings me to one Johnny Bravo's episode, but and that's another thing. But really, Johnny Bravo once dipped his butt accidentally
Oh yeah, when
into a
the
bucket.
butt print that
Yeah,
he
he
saw.
made the
Yeah,
butt
oh
print.
yes, I
Uh,
remember that.
and that became a very famous picture. And then just one guy one day just threw a tomato on
Yeah.
when he was angry, you know, on another big painting. I mean, not painting, but how was that called? I forgot. The white something that you're
he-
supposed to be painting
canvas.
on it. The canvas.
Yes.
Yeah, so he did throw, you know, tomatoes on the canvas, and that became the next hit. So
Yeah.
that
But
there
he-
goes the
he
print.
put emotions in those drawing.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't just drawing, he put emotions. That's what we do. We put emotions, we throw stuff.
Yeah, and then actually, if
Whatever
you
happens.
use epoxy resin on it, that's going to be forever there. You know, those
Nice.
tomatoes are going to be forever captured
Nice.
in that squishy moment.
How many ideas? So we learn things about movies, games, comic books,
And how
and
to
art.
make
And
great art with
Nice.
epoxy resin.
There you go. Speaking about learning and knowledge now, already.
Here's knowledge.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
knowledge. I'm just knowledge. Okay. So guys, thank you very much again for watching. Till next time with me, Giraji Reviews and Kirill from Superheroes Bulgaria. I'm gonna leave the links down below when I upload the YouTube video, recorded YouTube video. Until next time, me Giraji Reviews, and expect more coverage from E3 when that is humanly possible.